Hello, and welcome to another episode of GoodCast, a podcast produced by Goodwill North Central Texas, where we highlight the education, training, and job placement opportunities made possible thanks to the generous donations of everyday people. It's been a minute since we've had an update in audio form, but 2024 was a banner year for Goodwill North Central Texas. From day one, it seemed like we've been unstoppable, hosting conferences, fundraisers, anniversary events, and so much more, all while sticking to our mission of creating lives of independence and building a stronger local community. So today, we're going to run through some of the events and stories you may have missed while we've been gone. In late 2023, Goodwill North Central Texas launched an English learning program called L Squared, which aims at providing individuals English learning opportunities. L Squared students can improve their speaking, reading, and writing skills in English, which creates a perfect pathway to our GED programs. L Squared really took off in 2024, and classes have been held in libraries, community centers, and Goodwill facilities. The program continues to grow, and we're excited to watch this trend throughout 2025. A personal highlight for me was getting to meet Fort Worth's own Opal Lee in May of last year. Miss Opal, alongside her granddaughter, took a tour of our Campus Drive facility, learning more about the good work of Goodwill. Opal Lee is considered the grandmother of Juneteenth and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom that same month.
2 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freedom for enslaved Americans was finally enforced in Galveston, Texas, marking the nation's first Juneteenth. In that same town, Opal Lee was born 6 decades later. Growing up in a home that was burned down by a racist mob, she understood that history must never be erased. A teacher and advocate, she helped lead a movement with the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation. More than 150 years after that day in Galveston, Texas, she stood next to another American president who followed her lead and made Juneteenth a federal holiday. The nation thanks Opal Lee, the grandmother of Juneteenth.
A retired school teacher and activist, her work helped make Juneteenth a federally recognized holiday, and at 98 years old, she's still very active in the community. We were incredibly honored to show her the ins and outs of our workforce development programs and the full scope of our retail program.
Do you have anything for the people that I see on the street that are homeless?
Yes ma'am. And we're
Tell
going to
me
get to that
about
program. It's right around the corner.
All right.
Throughout the tour, Goodwill team members stopped to say hello and thank her for her work.
Certainly nice being here.
We're glad you're here
I'm
today.
learning so much.
Very nice to meet you. Big
So
place.
nice meeting you. Hey, bro. How are you?
I'm great, Rita. How are you?
I'm here. I'm a 97-year-old, and I'm getting a tour of this place. I done asked me for a job.
There you go. There you go.
Miss Opal was also the keynote speaker at the Goodwill Industries International's Delegate Assembly, which we hosted a few short weeks later. The Delegate Assembly Conference gave Goodwill leadership from across the country space to share ideas and practices that best serve our communities. As a reminder, Goodwill organizations are autonomous and operate independently, so it's really cool having events like this. Programs that exist in other parts of the country and even across the state can vary quite a bit, but it's great when we can share resources and knowledge to better serve people. Immediately following the Delegate Assembly Conference, Goodwill North Central Texas hosted representatives from Goodwill Korea, providing tours of our Campus Drive facility, Airport Freeway, the Keller Boutique, and other retail locations. Since 2003, Goodwill Industries International has partnered with the South Korean nonprofit Together Foundation to help bring the Goodwill mission and model to South Korea. 2024 was also our 75th anniversary, and we celebrated with the Faces of Goodwill Gala. As part of the celebration, we recognized 75 individuals and organizations that have had a significant impact on our organization and the community at large. Of these 75 honorees, 3 received the President's Award. Former CEO of Goodwill North Central Texas, Bernard Kern, who ushered in a new era when we moved into our Campus Drive facility, received the award for former and current Goodwill staff and board.
Well, I'm really not sure whether I should be receiving the award or giving the award. Because looking out on this congregation, I recognize the contributions that all of you have made to make Goodwill the premier organization that it is today. So congratulations and thank you very much. As I think about my own contribution to Goodwill, I think many of you will agree that probably I've received much more from Goodwill than I could ever hope to give. And I think I've heard others of you express that same thing. So thank you all very much. I look forward to see you when we celebrate the 150th anniversary 75 years.
Hadley Warner of Frost Bank was recognized under the Community Partners category.
First of all, happy anniversary. 75 years. It's amazing. Congratulations, David, the board of directors, the entire team of dedicated leaders and staff. What a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment that every team member through the years has helped advance. I'm humbled and honored to achieve and receive the President's Award from such a dedicated organization as Goodwill. It's gratifying to be part of the Frost team that has had a long-term relationship with the Goodwill team for decades. Helping our communities is something that has been part of Frost culture since our company started 156 years ago. It goes all the way back to our core values of integrity, caring, and excellence. We know that communities we serve share these values too, and Goodwill shares those values. That's why when we commit to excellence and we strive for success, we also make sure that the excellence is backed by integrity, and that success is reflected in our caring for the community. So on behalf of all of us at Frost, thank you, David, for all you and your dedicated team do to make people's lives better in this great city and this region. And thank you for this award and for letting us be part of this evening.
And Kelly Allen Gray received the President's Award for current or former political official.
Good evening. First I want to say to my team who is here tonight with me, thank you for following me all over the city, serving others and giving back to the city who has given so much to me. Thank you to Goodwill for this wonderful recognition, and I can only say that my world and Goodwill's world is literally only 6 degrees of separation. Our lives just continue to be intertwined, whether I am in office or in the private sector. During my very first tour at Goodwill with David and Shay, I started learning about all of the programs, their education programs, their job programs, their training programs. I had the opportunity to meet several really amazing women who had gone through the different programs. And then later that year, I was actually asked to serve as a commencement speaker. And it was such an amazing and powerful night to hear so many different stories. And for me and my team, and for everyone who I know whose lives Goodwill has touched, thank you. And happy 75th anniversary.
In November, we held our golf tournament fundraiser, the Goodwill Classic, which provides scholarships to our workforce development clients so they can enroll in programs like our professional CDL truck driver training course or other credentialing programs. And lastly, in December of 2024, we hosted our annual board staff luncheon and awards program to celebrate our team members. During this event, we recognized those who were celebrating 5, 10, 15, 25, and this year, 30 years of service to Goodwill North Central Texas. In addition, our annual awards were presented honoring the hard work and dedication of our staff, clients, and community partners. Khaditra Harris was our Graduate of the Year from our CDL program. Khaditra, a single mother, wanted to create a better life for herself and her children. Throughout her time in the program, she overcame her anxiety, financial hurdles, and more with support from Goodwill staff. Today, she works for Schneider Trucking, and her story is a testament to her determination. James Thompson was named Achiever of the Year. He entered our job placement services in 2022 and is now the program manager of our veteran program, VetWorthy. VetWorthy provides veterans and their dependents with access to community resources, job training, and placement opportunities with help from organizations like the Texas Veterans Commission. Jacob Shelton was named Shining Star of the Year from our Grapevine facility. Jacob is a classroom leader and has featured in the Star's production of Willy Wonka, as well as the Star's talent show, where he won first place for his impressive yo-yo routine. And Autumn Harold, James Horton, and Patrick Pruitt were named Team Members of the Year for their respective departments. Community Engagement was named Team of the Year for Admin and Contracts. Grants, Compliance, and Business Analytics was Team of the Year for Workforce Development, and our Kennedale retail team was recognized for their mission awareness and customer service. Speaking of successes, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention our Thank You Goodwill video series, which featured 4 news stories. The first focused on Darius Bowie, a participant at our Fort Worth Stars facility, who also works for Edgar's Bath Goods. Our second story features Ryan Osborne, the first graduate of our A² program and outlet manager. Terry Baker, who we've spoken to a handful of times for GoodCast, shares his experience with incarceration and Goodwill's CDL program, where he is now an instructor. And Cheryl Marshall, who is the manager of our attended donation stations, recently had her video released earlier this year. We can't wait for you to see our next selection of stories highlighting the transformative power of Goodwill. 2024 was an action-packed year that saw thousands of individuals serve through education, job training, and placement. And we're so incredibly thankful for the community support we've received. 2025 has just as much in store for us, and we've got a lot planned for the podcast this year. So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. You have been listening to GoodCast, a podcast produced by Goodwill North Central Texas. To stay up to date on all things Goodwill NCT, be sure to check out our social media and sign up for our newsletter. And if you have a second, we'd appreciate it if you could share the show with a friend or leave us a review on iTunes. It is the fastest way to help the show grow. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts.